first are some LikeCoin statistics. Let me share the screen with you. Okay, you should be able to see the graph and the tables. This week, the number of LikeCoin addresses increased to about 8,700, which is about 300 something more, nearly 400 more than the previous week. And the number of transactions increased at about 13,000 to about 164,000. The number of delegated token actually decreased a little bit. Maybe some people undelegated. The current number is about 253 millions, which is 630,000 LikeCoin less than the previous week. And here is the chart, and the trends remains more or less the same. The number of addresses increased in a straight line. The number of transactions also increased in a straight line. Sorry for the scrolling. And the number of delegated tokens remains more or less the same. The decrease is not very significant. So last week, I was mainly doing the developing the ISCN on LikeCoin chain, discussion with Alu on some design and working on a POC, which is almost done, probably by tomorrow. And I was also discussing with Forbo, one of the LikeCoin chain validator and also Cosmos Hub developer about the compatibility of proof of existence and Cosmos SDK chain upgrades. Forbo seems very optimistic on the compatibility. But we will have further discussion with other stakeholders or other participants. This week, I will continue development of ISCN on LikeCoin chain. Yeah, that's the main job. That's it.
Hello, this is Michael. And last week, I have fixed the UI review on the new monthly email report. And also, I've written the deployment document of our Elastic Stack and the logs for the Kibana use. And because I've implemented the monthly data aggregation task, I add a script to report our monthly LikeCoin distribution status, which is used for internal analysis. And then this week, I'm going to deploy the monthly email report, which will be run in the start of April. And then I will continue to start the data flow deployment documentation so that other telco can load the deployment of data flow. That's it.
Hi, this is William, and last week I was working on some config and account changes on PayPal, and it was deployed on Monday, and there was some minor issue, and it was fixed swiftly, and it should be running no problem now. And one of the last issue we encountered last week is that our email sending service, SES, on the Amazon cloud was paused by Amazon because of the email bounce issue. And after some investigation, we find out that there was a Hong Kong user that kept on sending invalid email to invalid address by registering a lot of different accounts. And we have mitigated the issue by offsetting some of our workload to SendGrid, which has a better alerting and overall better UI and dashboard, and easier to observe if there is any ongoing issue. But however, we will still need to work on more full solution on how to avoid some users wanting to spam our registration system with invalid emails. And I have been talking with our provider of Core on this issue. And also I have spent some time into looking into how to synchronize our website and our Slack command analytic events on SimpleLikeR, because currently we have funnel analytics on our SimpleLikeR registration to analyze what kind of struggle or when do users drop out in the SimpleLikeR registration flow. However, if Hong Kong users use FES or PayMe to pay the SimpleLikeR registration fee, and our website tracking system cannot emit those events properly because it is done in our back end with Slack command for the final step, because we have to verify their bank account or PayMe record manually by our own customer service. So I was looking into if it's possible that if we can integrate some analytic events into our Slack command so that the overall picture is synchronized and viewable in the Google Analytics and Facebook advertising platform. And I have just deployed some changes now, and I will keep on monitoring if the changes are actually effective. And then I have also worked on some of our migration from Intercom to the new messenger platform Clips. And I have worked on some changes on our LikeCoin website and also some of our backend functions. And for now, we will keep on running Intercom for the customers, but we will have a Clips instance running in the background so that the data the user's data can be collected by Clips, and the data between Intercom and Clips can be synchronized. And we will keep on running both systems for a period of time, and so that we can observe if there is anything missing in Clips. And if we confirm there is nothing else we overlook, then we will remove Intercom and completely switch to Clips, but it might take some time. And also I have worked on some minor PRs on LikeCoin when I was working on the mentioned issues, just like if I see something strange when working on Clips, I just open PR. And this week I will just keep on monitoring the Intercom and Clips changes. I just deployed this today. And I'll also monitor the analytics event I have just deployed also today. And I will start working on the LikeCoin app referral system. That is, we want to keep track of record that how many of our likers have actually installed and opened our LikeCoin wallet app, and maybe implement some kind of bonus and referral system on top of it. And also I will research into other websites or under our domain that use Intercom. And I will investigate what kind of cost is it if we switch them all from Intercom to Clips. And that's for my part.
Hello, this is David, one of the developers which specify in front-end design and development. And for previous week, I have fixed the share extension capability for some third-party apps, such as the Brave browser and PayMe app. And I have spent almost 2 days in debugging the particular issues, and also fixed the minor bugs before we released our new app version 0.16.0. And this release includes the brand new design on the sign screen, and also the QR code scanner now supports the JSON format. And user can now save the web page to the bookmark list from Safari, Google Chrome, and Brave browser. And users can now manage their following preferences and their account settings, which provided by our off-core partner. And later this previous week, I have began to working on the statistics UI, which just finished the UI element in Storybook. And I think Storybook is a very good tools to build some UI and without any API integration, and see the layout and test the responsive design. And I think I will continue to work on this part for this week and start to integrate the API and discuss the API with Michael. And I think this workload is enough for this week. That's all for my part.
All right, this is Edmund. I'm responsible for operation. And let's start with some statistics first. Last week, the major focus is the Civic Leica acquisition campaign, which after weeks of preparation for some traffic tracking and advertisement A/B tests, we tried to double the advertising budget last week, and using the developed advertising strategy. And the result is so far so good. I think the most important point that we find out is that we expected the cost per acquisition will rise after we increase the budget, but in fact it did not. The CPA remains stable in 29 Hong Kong dollars after the budget has been increased by 60%. And it is a good news. That means this strategy has a potential to scale up. And we still don't know what's the ceiling, but we will keep on trying and increase the budget progressively. And I found out some bottleneck, and I list it here. There are 4 points. The first of all is we have 50% registration in manual procedure. And if we scale up the promotion campaign, I'm afraid that our operation cannot digest the work. That's what William mentioned before in this meeting, and we are working it out to streamline the process. And also we need to we still need to there's a lot of tests to do to narrow down the advertisement so that we can have a more effective advertising strategy. Although the conversion rate is already quite good, we have above 2% of final conversion rate. I mean to convert the user to Civic Leica, which is already above average. We'll keep on trying on that. And also for the rise of CPA, we have to do it step by step. We won't boost the budget to a very large amount at one time. We have to make sure that the CPA won't go crazy. And finally, about the Facebook pixel and GA tracking, still we will improve that. And I will try to double the budget again this week, and let's see how it goes next week. And last week I performed an affinity group A/B test on according to the data I got from Google Analytics, but it failed because the sample size is not large enough. I'm still finding a way to do that this week. And for social media, it is by our community helper Daisy, and the Facebook content theme is mainly focused on Meta's the Meta's campaign. There were two campaigns last week. Which were the focus. The first campaign is about the million LikeCoin campaign, and another one is for the medium user conversion campaign. And the reach rate drops, however, I think is most likely due to the nature, the format of the posts. Last week, most of the posts are link posts, and it is more difficult to have engagement. So we also resumed the Telegram posting last week. For other index, there is only one point which is worth mentioning is about the average daily registration. In last meeting, I mentioned that we suddenly have a lot of Hong Kong users registered, and it turns out that it is just a spammer mentioned by William. And so in this week, after we have done some restriction on that spammer, Taiwan user registration went up above the Hong Kong user number again, and the pattern becomes as the same as normal. I mean, previous in just like before February. And so I've mentioned about most of these 3 points, which was my work last week, and only one point need to be mentioned is about a content marketing sketch. It is about a civic media article which will be released today. And this week, I will continue to execute the advertising plan and solve those 4 bottlenecks. I'll try to solve that 4 bottlenecks. And also, I will plan for the app download campaign. For information, we will have a major campaign during April for driving the app downloads. And I have to think of a strategy, how to promote it. And I will also prepare a seasonal report of infographics this week, and we will announce the cooperation with Vocus formally tomorrow noon. And also, as mentioned by William, we will try to migrate our CS system to Crypts. That's it for my part.
Thank you, Edmund. Hi, everyone. This is Phoebe. I'm mostly responsible for business development as well as fundraising for the projects. So for last week, I mostly focused my time on preparing the first draft of the SIE fund, which is supported by the Hong Kong government. And I've sent out to several advisors for comments and feedback. The deadline is tomorrow, so I'll wrap things up and submit by the end of the day of tomorrow. The nature of OIS, which is the proposal suggested platform, might not 100% fit SIE fund targeted audience, but I will still give it a try and try to fit in the targeted audience that they want. For last week, I've also spent some time to prepare tomorrow's online guest lecture for the Hong Kong U MBA students. We'll have a section to share about LikeCoin to those students who are studying fintech. Had a prelim practice presentation this morning with the team. Also, over the weekend, we have launched a matching fund on LikeCoin for public goods. They now have a matching fund that will back projects that are focusing on the public goods area. So please support us if you have a GitHub account or if you're a developer. Feel free to check us out on GitCoin. I believe Keen will mention a little bit more about how you guys can participate. And actually, we can also consider moving forward for our community meeting if there are more people prefer we speak in Mandarin or Cantonese. That will feed the community interest. Then we can adjust a little bit. So you guys may let us know, because I know there is a friend from Taiwan and also from Hong Kong at the meeting right now. Yeah, do let us know. So yeah, that's it for me.
Hi, this is Josh. I respond for UX UI design, and the previous week I decided the new roadmap of LikeCoin with Keen. Before, actually, we have a lot. We want to do a lot, and the previous roadmap is much longer, and we try to do it as soon as possible. So we come up with a new roadmap, and I also make some quick design, which is not a complicated design, and which we are planning to roll out on April. One is the subscription options page, and the second is notification feature on LikeCoin app. I would like to show you real quick. It's just one page. So here you go. On this feature, there will be the fourth session on tab bar, which is notification. We plan to do it to help user to know what happened on their account. Which in the first phase we focus on the on-chain activities. Like if you receive a civil like, and then you receive LikeCoin, then the notification will notify you. Also daily report or a simple P2P in and out, just send and receive. And also the referral program will reflect in this UI, which if you have a referee or referral, then the notification will tell you, which we kind of never tell you in the moment. So, and this is for the design. And also participated in the discussion of super like or the share feature, which we want to do it ultimately, which we hope it do it also as soon as possible. And this week I will follow up on the design I mentioned about, and also the discussion of the super like and share. And that's it for me.
Hello, Aris here. Last week, as Chung said, we discussed with some expertise about LikeCoin chain upgrade compatibility issue. In the coming time, we will still keep on discussing with any other expertise about this issue, so that we can know the any consequence when we upgrade the LikeCoin chain. Any issue will affect the ISCN. And about the ISCN, let me show the screen first. Okay, the ISP number 2 is now proposing. This is the architecture of the ISCN, and this ISP number 2 is specified on this ISCN core block. What I mostly want to talk about is the ISCN ID. The ISCN ID will be in this format. will be in this format. Yes, some example is just like this. So like this, there will be a number that represent which registry agent. Another part is the ID itself is required to be unique within this specific registry agent. And also the third part is the addition of the ISEN. That means since the ISEN can be updated, so every addition will be assigned a addition number, so you can query the ISEN with specific addition like this. So this is what I want to show you. And in the coming time, I will keep on going to make the ISP number 3 that will mainly about this part, the stakeholder part. It will some description about which one have some stick on this digital content and how they should share it when this content has some income. And also you'll have the creation footprint. So all about this will be described on the ISP number 3. So that's it for my part.
Hi everyone, this is Kin. So I want to focus on reporting one thing, which is to rework the civic likers model. I wouldn't say rework, but I try to rework, but the result is more like an enhancement. And so I have a deck which I'll share right now. Wait, sorry. It's actually on another screen. Is it actually working? Sorry, nope.
No.
Actually, sorry. So here's what my sorry. I'm reworking the model of civic liker and making the design of civic liker. Can somebody let me know whether my screen share is working?
You're now sharing the Zoom screen.
It's correct now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a slide now.
Yeah, sorry. So I'll just focus on the first two slides because the full deck is too long, and I'll do an internal presentation and make some enhancement before we find another chance to explain the whole thing. So what I'm working on is the LikeCoin new design, and there have been questions asking what LikeCoin exactly is, and we are saying it's like a European Union of internet media, which is correct. But right now, what I'm talking about, the LikeCoin I'm talking about is the narrow sense, like what it actually looks like and what it appears to end users. So as an app. So I would say LikeCoin is also a social media, but social media in the very different sense of Facebook. So Facebook is like a very social, but with very little media. In fact, it kills many media. While for us, we want to do a social media that magnifies media, while instead having a very small element on social. And we'll say that's even 会有. So there will be a no comment and no emotion, like you don't find 5 buttons showing whether you're angry or like or sad, something like that. Or there will also not be upvote and downvote. There will be only two major, actually three major features, two of which has to do with social. The first one is like, which we've been saying we invented like for the past 2 years. So the way we invented is to have like equals reward. Liking is rewarding, so you just have to click like once, and then you're rewarding the writer, the content creator. And now the second phase, we're entering the second phase, which I would say is similar to reinventing the share. We'll have reward equals to share, which means if you reward some LikeCoin from your wallet to the creator, you're actually sharing the content. And so that's the second action, which we called the second action button, which we'll call a super like. Super like, you can kind of see it as a 4-in-1 combo button. So when you reward, you are sharing the content and you're engaging into the content distribution, and then you are mining, technically speaking, like, or blockchain wise saying you are doing a mining. And we want to have a signal over noise and then depth over span. Like you'd, in the social network, you would rather go deep by reading articles instead of just like hanging around looking at reading gossips and things. And then there are too many points here which I wouldn't be going one by one. Maybe later I will, but not in this meeting. So it mainly talks about why we are is hot to do this design, because there are various considerations or dilemmas which does not exist in the normal situation, like typical internet apps, such as whether we want to use fiat currency or LikeCoin or cryptocurrencies to reflect, to carry the value, whether we want to use fiat currency such as Taiwan dollar or LikeCoin to sell the items or to calculate the price, etc. and etc. We want to be very simple to users, but at the same time we have to be very precise. Say one like may equal to 0.0034347, something like that, which to some users it looks odd, but it's very precise, etc. and etc. And the last thing I would say is the hardest part is actually how to balance the being a foundation, like doing for the community, versus making money, not earning money, but at least having money to feed ourselves. So I'll talk about what I actually designed later after I do some polishing, and talking about the dilemma between being a foundation and having enough money to sustain the project. We are having a very tight capital and one way, so we just joined the a campaign to raise a little bit of money. So it's on LikeCoin right now. I'll share the link on just share the link already on Zoom. So anyone who have or who haven't an account can go to this link to support it. And the magic thing is there is a $250,000 matching fund going on right now for 7 days. So if you donate, and then the donation will be magnified. Say here, we just have 5 people donated 59 Dai, which has an value equal to $, and then the matching fund match us with 64 Dai. So please support us if you can. If you have hard time getting Dai, you can always contact us and I'll help. So that's the second thing. And the last thing is just a small thing. I just published an article on our discussion with Audrey Tang, which the link of which I'll also post right here. So it is mainly about Audrey, but it's also about how our difficulty and at like setting up the constitution of the Republic of Likeland and how we are going to do that. So that would be a good piece to understand what we've been doing and what difficulty we are facing and how we are going to solve it. It's on Matters and also on my own blog, exactly, and also on newspaper as well. Maybe I'll post it to Vocus as well tonight. So that's my part. Thanks. Sorry I'm late joining the meeting. I forgot to say.
Are there any other questions from the community? If not, we can wrap it up. Or if you have any question, you can always.
Keen, you are still sharing your screen.
Sharing the screen.
I think you can always reach us out on Facebook as well. Thank you for attending.